Today in the program, my guest is Sauka, spokesperson of the Transformation Alliance, TA.
Mr. Sauka, let me welcome you to this edition of Capital Straight Talk. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sauka.
Would you first of all share with us more about yourself? How do you define yourself?
I'm just a young Malawian youth, 40 years of age. Actually, I did my Bachelor's of Business Administration, currently finalizing on my Master's in Business Administration, and I actually work for an international organization. Politically, if I'll jump into that, I once represented UDF in 2014 elections as an MP aspirant, actually contesting with guys like Gustav Carrillo and the incumbent Chikarimba for Zomba Changalomesi. So that's what I can say briefly about myself.
So you regard yourself as a politician despite being a professional? You are a politician, Mr. Sauka?
Yeah, I am a politician, and I believe everyone is a politician.
Why are those aspirations to become a member of parliament?
Actually, I've seen how most of the governments that have been in power have been taking people for granted. Actually, the plight of the poor, the voiceless, the people who can't say anything, who can't do anything. You know, the 80% of those in the villages who are actually struggling to survive. You know, when I see their plight, how they're suffering, that's when I decided maybe if I can get into government, if I become a politician, maybe I can change something.
So the only way you can change the lives of the poor, for example, in your area, is for you to become a member of parliament.
That's not the only way, for say. I have my own programs that I do to help my people. Actually, I've actually worked on some schools that needed to be done, you know, that have been left unattended by the other MPs. And actually, some other business I'm trying to do just to give the youth something to do. But, you know, politics, it involves the government machinery. So that's the only way. When you talk of politics, you're talking of the whole government, you're talking of it's the issues of the nation. So that's why I decided to get into politics.
Now, you're telling me that you contested during the 2014 elections on the ticket of UDF.
Yes.
But I'm talking to you in your capacity as a spokesperson of the Transformation Alliance.
Yes.
How did you find yourself in TIA?
Actually, after TIA, I found it as a like-minded group. You know, TIA is just a pressure group. It's not a political party. As you know, pressure groups don't form government. So I decided, working with TA as an independent organization, as an organization that can provide checks and balances to the government. That's why I decided to work with TA, you know, work on the Malawi, the people.
Were you invited to TA?
Actually, I joined them as a group when I saw what they were doing. I attended some of their meetings before I joined them.
What exactly caught your attention, or what exactly attracted you in the Transformation Alliance?
It is the agenda, the Malawi one.
What agenda are you talking about?
You know, the transformation of the country, their will. Actually, I would say TA is an organization that I saw that it is an agenda that wants to get away with corruption, you know, something that has to do with the mindset change, mostly among the youth, the young generation, you know, as it represents our future. We are the future. So I came across an organization that was talking about the youth, which is different from other parties.
So do you think that is being achieved? Because TA has been there for years now. And looking at the agenda that it advances, do you think it is being achieved?
You know, an agenda and actually transformation as a whole, it's a process. We are achieving it slowly. You know, we talk, you know, just like the last year by-elections in Sanje. You know, we talked, we had our say. And you know what happened? People voted for the opposition. It was through TA and other people with the like-minded agendas. Like-minded, yes.
Did you ask people to vote for the opposition?
Yes, we did ask people to vote for the opposition who are talking about the Malawi they want.
Why did you do that?
We did that so that the people, you know, an ordinary person could not just go or just could not do anything about it. So we thought we could speak for those people because they approached us. They have been flocking our offices. Can't you speak for us? Can't you say this? So that's why we only asked people to vote for the opposition to show the government that they were not liking what they were seeing. And
so did did you ask them to vote for the opposition or the Malawi Congress Party? Can you be specific?
We didn't ask anyone to vote for Malawi Congress Party. If you go back to what we said, we never mentioned Malawi Congress Party. If it was that they voted Malawi Congress Party, maybe it's because they're like-minded like us. But we didn't actually tell anyone, people, if they are votes in their mind. So we didn't actually pinpoint parties. We just asked them to vote for the opposition. So in
other words, you're telling me tonight that TA is there to fight the government. That's what I'm getting from you tonight.
We're not fighting the government. We're only providing them with checks and balances. We want the government to listen to the people.
No, but if you can go out there and ask people not to vote for the party that is in government now, but instead vote for those in opposition, aren't you fighting the government?
There's nothing like fighting the government. We don't have the weapon or whatever to fight the government. It's just a message that we use. You know, it was just a message of change. We want the government to embrace change. We want the government to embrace transformation, the things that they are talking about. You know, that's what we're only talking about. We're not fighting the government. You don't fight the government. It's a legitimate government, but all we're asking them is also to listen to other stakeholders. That's all we're talking about.
Well, what makes you feel that those in opposition have the answers to the problems that Malawians are facing? I'm asking this question because to some observers, even the opposition have no clear policies on how they intend to go about dealing with the challenges that the country is facing. And here you are telling this radio that we are asking Malawians to vote for those in opposition. What makes you feel that those in opposition have the answers to these problems?
We see that there's some people with transformative minds.
Like who? Like who?
I will not mention people. People voted for who they thought have a transformative thinking. That's what we're asking. We're voting for these people in a view that they would also be heard. When they get into government, they'll be able to assist the government to embrace change. That's what we're talking about.
Now, looking at those that are in the Transformation Alliance, people like you, even your chairman, they are all politicians.
Yes.
Like the chairman was once a member of parliament, a cabinet minister. Yourself, you are aspiring to become a member of parliament. Can you tell those that are listening to you now, what direction is the TA taking? Do you dream of forming a government or going into government one day as TA?
Like I'm saying, we are actually not a political party. We are a pressure group. You know, this is something that has never been embraced in Malawi. But you go to South Africa, you go all over the world, you understand these groups exist just to provide checks and balances to the government. We cannot say that we dream of forming a government. No. All we're saying is we want to assist the government in embracing change. We want a government with transformative thinking and mindset. We're not saying we want to form a government. No, if you wanted to form a government, you could have had TA as a political party. We are not a political party. We're just a pressure.
Have you given up on your aspirations to become a member of parliament?
I've not given that up. That's my dream. I'll be contesting for 2019. I will be contesting for 2019.
So do you think that will be possible and to take you to parliament? I mean, whilst you are in the Transformation Alliance, do you think TA will take you to parliament?
Obviously, it's just a matter of transformative thinking. Like I'm saying, go look at South Africa. All these presidents who have been there, Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, these guys, they came from movements like Transformation Alliance. They came from pressure groups. These were trade unionists. No, they were not political parties. So that's what I believe. Even UDF was the pressure group. It wasn't a political party.
But pressure groups don't participate in an election. Am I right?
You're right. I'm participating in an election. That's what I'm saying. We are going to align with people who have like minds, individuals, like-minded groups who are going to work with us. We're not saying we're a political party, but we'll be conducting elections as TA. We have a way to do that, and you'll be seeing it in the coming.
So which political parties will you be aligning with?
That I cannot say for now, but we are just working with that. We're actually in discussions, and we'll be telling you in a few weeks' time.
Which political parties are you in discussion with?
I'll not tell you that at the moment. That's not for the air to discuss, but just know that TA will be having representatives for 2019, not as a political party, but aligning themselves with other like-minded groups.
Are you in any way different from all these political parties that we have seen, or political groupings that we have in this country? Is TA any better?
Yeah, we are better. We are better because, you know, we have a transformative thinking. We are better. We are representing the youth, the future generation.
So why are you failing to disclose which political parties you are talking with?
I'm saying you just be looking for this space. Maybe in 2 weeks' time you will see who we'll be aligning ourselves with.
I'm reliably informed that you're eyeing the Malawi Congress Party. In other words, you're just like a wing of the Malawi Congress Party. Can you confirm with us if that is what is happening?
I cannot confirm with you at the moment, but all I'm saying is TA is a pressure group. I will not confirm with that here. TA is a pressure group, but what I'm saying is, in the coming weeks or so, we'll be telling we'll be telling this station, we'll be telling the nation who we are aligning ourselves with.
Is it true that you're working with the Malawi Congress Party, Mr. Sauka?
I'm saying that will be for the coming weeks. Just look at the page. We'll tell you who we'll be aligning ourselves with.
I've said that the Transformation Alliance was formed some time back. Is there anything that you can show us as your achievement as the Transformation Alliance, or maybe it's just another way of wasting time and resources on your part? Have you achieved anything?
We have achieved quite a number of things. You know, we had a conference where we invited opposition parties, even the government, where we were talking to the people. It was such a big conference, one of a kind in Malawi, where we had all these political parties coming together. It was only the government, unfortunately, that didn't attend, but it was quite a good conference, and we had the views of the people. We were able to get the message to the people. And, you know, also the by-elections in Sanje, it's an example. We talk, people listen. So that's what we do.
In the talking about the conference that you had, you told this nation that you'll be coming back to tell them what exactly was discussed and the issues that were raised, but you never did that. Why did you lie to the Malawi nation?
We didn't lie to Malawi nation. You know, when we're doing these things, they are processed. But what I can assure you right now is that we are doing our final group consultation to get feedback and consultations after our conference. So it is, at the moment, anytime Titulu, our analysis and our document for the Malawi one very soon, prior to, just as a follow-up to that conference.
And were Malawians well represented during that press conference? Because you were busy inviting people of high class, politicians, even those from outside the country, when Malawians were left out. How different, again my question, how different is the Transformation Alliance, if at all, that's how you'll be doing your things, if at all that's how you'll be conducting your business in this country?
If you had come to that, if you remember the conference, last year conference in August, we actually invited TA members from across the country, from Sanje to Chipa, East, West, South, Northern, all the regions. There were people representing people from their region, and we had almost over 400 delegates. So the country was well represented, and even at our press conference, we'll take the same route that we took at our conference.
And already during the time that you have existed as a TA, we have seen people leaving this grouping. Your predecessor left the group, and you had to come in as a spokesperson of the Transformation Alliance. Is it not too early for this kind of a group to start losing members?
We didn't lose membership. If you go back to our former spokesperson, he had his own reasons. He said he was leaving the group to further studies, but it's something that I wouldn't want to elaborate on. But I think after that you heard he went to BBC. So it wasn't that we're losing members. He took a course that he took, but it's not for us to make a decision on him.
So my question is it not a cause for worry for you to start losing members at this stage?
GA has got better people than the guy who left. You saw by the kind of caliber at our conference. You know, we have well-qualified young guys. We have professionals in our group. We have business people in our group. We have politicians in our group. It has become stronger even when he left. He was just a member. He was a product of TA. So as TA, we don't mind if somebody leaves to do something better. We are only here to transform future generations, to transform the youth. I think even our former spokesperson, when he left a transformed person.
So what programs do you have? I mean, ahead of the 2019 elections, we are just months away from those elections. What programs do you have as TIE?
We have many programs lined up. We're going to be having rallies. We'll be sensitizing the people, just letting them know what to do during the forthcoming elections, making them aware of the things they're supposed to do during the election, letting them know how the country is going, and hearing their views on the Malawi that they want, so that we can share with the like-minded individuals who we're working with.
So you'll be going around again campaigning for the opposition?
We're not campaigning for opposition. TA will be campaigning with its own members, for its own members. It's not a matter of campaigning for the opposition. After all, if we call it an election, to have two parties, the government and the opposing side. So we are not the government, we're not the opposing side.
But what stopped you from campaigning for members during the by-elections that we have just discussed here? What stopped you from doing that?
We told you that we had to first go into a consultative meeting with our stakeholders across the country. We needed to get the views of people across the country. And by then we hadn't yet achieved that. So we waited for the opportune time. And besides, we thought the political platform wasn't quite ready for us.
So do you think that one is ready now? The political landscape is now ready for TIE?
Yeah, we've been ready for some months now. It's ready and ripe at the moment.
How ready are you?
We are very ready. You'll be seeing in the coming weeks. We're very ready. You'll be seeing with the programs that will be coming up in the coming weeks.
What will happen? What will happen in the next few weeks that you're talking about?
Just watch the space. You'll be seeing that. It's something that's on the pipeline. It's something that's still in the locker rooms.
Well, at some point we did ask your chairman or the leadership of the TA if at all there are plans to turn this grouping into a political party. Are there those plans for you to become a political party one day?
Probably one day. I can't rule out anything. Probably one day. But it all depends with the government of the day then. But at the moment, I can definitely say not.
Before 2019?
Yeah, before 2019, we're not going to turn into a political party. We will remain a pressure group, and that's who we are.
Do you think it was proper for that decision to be made during the conference that you had, where a number of members of the grouping actually were in attendance? Why did you table that topic for people to discuss, if at all it is proper or it was proper for this grouping to turn into a political party?
No, it was because of the pressure we were getting from people out there in the villages. People really wanted us to form a political party. And actually, this is a process. There are rules and regulations of doing that. So we had to explain to people that we'll still be there for you, but at least we have other like-minded groups who we can work with. Like I've said before, look at other countries, South Africa, look at Tanzania, look at France, look at the UK, all these developed nations, and even here in Africa, like I'm saying, they have the same system, they use the same concept. That's what we're working on. There's nothing sinister about it, or there's nothing different about it. It's all the same. We're still politicians. We won't be changed by our association with any group. No, not at all.
Well, but I shouldn't hide my disappointment, Mr. Sauka, because we have discussed almost for 20 minutes now, but I haven't heard from you the plans that you have for young persons. I'm told your organization is a youthful one, and the majority of your members are the youth, but no plans at all for those young persons of this country. Instead, you go out there and campaign for those in opposition. What are you doing as TIE?
Actually, the young guys in this, the youth in Malawi, they are the ones who are running this group. We have so much plans, but at the moment, how can we weigh out our plans? We're not in the government. We're having the views of these young men, the young men that have never been approached before, the young men that have been painted colors before without being asked about how they think of the Malawi they want. So we have an agenda of the Malawi we want, and we are asking them, the youth, what is exactly what they want. They want jobs. We are having ideas. We have a document, our concept on the Malawi that we want: job creation, good education, and human issues of human rights. We have so many things that we are planning for the youth, and it's a document that we're working on that will be coming out very soon. So it's something that I cannot so much on, but we have so much for the youth.
Have Malawians, the youth to be specific, embraced the TIE?
TA is all over, man. TA is all over the country. Wherever we go, we are known. We're doing the good things. You go to the big institutions, you hear about TA. You go to business places. Everywhere you go, you hear about TA. We are up there. We are currently the voice, the only voice that is very unique and which is not biased. We're not biased. We just straight. We just provide the things that people want to hear.
And again, how do you define the Malawi that you want in line with the agenda that you pursue as a Transformation Alliance?
The Malawi that we want, I would start with development leadership. You know, we need a political platform. From the politics of constrict, partisan, and short-time horizon interest to the politics of wider interest. You know, where everybody actually on a national, which is a national outlook and conscientious, inclusive, and empowering. You know, at the moment, the youth are not being empowered. Even the indigenous people, the indigenous business Malawians, they are not empowered. We're looking to something that empowers the indigenous business people. We're looking to the something that, I mean, that kind of leadership that takes to the Malawi one. You know, we're also looking to a leader who should be able to rule, to guide us and inspire. But at the moment, you see, nobody is really getting inspired. Not really taking anything out of the current president. He's a brilliant person, but all we're saying is he needs a transformative advisor, people who can advise him well, people who are realistic, not just on the paper, but on the ground. So that's the kind of thing we're looking at.
So the current president is a good president, but he's being ill-advised.
That's what we believe. Because, you know, I mean, for example, how can you have Janssen? You know, that's backward syndrome. How can we have Janssen where we can have a substation, we can build so on? How can we do these expenses? I mean, how can we have all these misplaced priorities? Building a national stadium when we don't have good health facilities, we don't have any form of job creation, we don't have the industry. You know, we need somebody who can advise the president well that this is not supposed to be done at this moment, to be at that moment. And we have before program on one of the radio programs that you have the whole Minister of Health who is not a profession in that field. You advise, how can he be taken care of? How can he take care of such an important institution when he's just a mere lawyer? I mean, we have professionals, we have doctors, young engineers, young doctors who are well qualified, young engineers who take over some of the ministries and secretarial jobs. You know, we're looking at that kind of thing. Where even if you look in Malawi and all over the world, the young guys are the ones who are very inventive, the billionaires.
All right, no, Mr. Sauka, time is up, and we can stop it there for today. But once again, many thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed.
And this is how we conclude this edition of Capital Street Talk. Today in the program, I was talking to Davis Sauka, spokesperson of the Transformation Alliance.